Picture this. It's 1959. You're a black man or woman living in New Orleans, Louisiana. You've been living there for a while and you're going about your daily routine. Things are the way they've always been, but not today. As you're waiting for your bus, you hear someone say, "Excuse me." Being as cautious as you always are with strangers, you slowly turn around to see if the person talking was indeed speaking to you. To your surprise, it's a young black man asking you where the nearest Negro cafe is. You tell him, and before you know it, he's well on his way. He leaves, you stay, and you think nothing of it. What if I told you that the black man wasn't black at all? What if I told you that the man who asked you about the Negro cafe was actually white? Don't believe me? Well, you probably haven't come across the book that I'm holding right here. Black Like Me by John Howard Griffin. Black Like Me is basically a journal kept by a white man who undergoes a social experiment. An experiment to understand what it really meant to live in the South as a black man. New Orleans, to be exact. Now allow me to give you a bit of a background to all this. The year is 1959. It's the South. We're in the US. You get where I'm going with all this? No? He's living in the segregated, racist, oppressed South. And yet Johnny Boy here wants to be a black man to, just see how it goes. Now, how does a white man become a black man? According to Griffin, there were 2 steps he needed to follow in order to become black. 1, take medicine that was used for patients who were victims of vitiligo, a skin disease. That's ironic. And 2, he needed to expose his body to ultraviolet rays under a sun lamp. Order up for a white man extra crispy. Yes, that'll be $8.50. Thank you. Now folks, I know what questions are running through your head right now. Is he crazy? Does he want to die? What was he thinking? Who approved this experiment? Does he not know that dressing up in blackface is in itself racist? Does he not realize that Robert Downey Jr. already got the part of the black man in Tropic Thunder? I'm not gonna lie, Tropic Thunder was funny. Believe me, these were the same questions I asked myself after reading this book. After getting a few contacts, kissing his wife and kids goodbye, and heading off to New Orleans, he's finally able to become black. The initial transformation was shocking, mainly for him, but he found himself asking questions about things that you and I take for granted every day. Where should I go if I want to eat? What restroom should I use? Who do I talk to? Now, I will say that his interaction with black folk was much more courteous and hospitable than his interaction with white folk. I'll read a few quotes and behaviors that Griffin documented among their reactions. She handed him the bill with no sign or recognition. You better find yourself some other place to rest. They gave me the hate stare. Her performance was so venomous. I felt sorry for her. The list goes on. As you can imagine, he made some mistakes along the way. Besides trying to be black in the first place. I'm referring to his interaction with a white woman on a bus. Check out this scene.
What you looking like that at me for?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I meant no harm.
Gets faster every day. Give them an inch and they take miles.
Don't you know better, man, than to show them manners? They's for comfortable standing.
Yep, he understood real quick that you don't have to give up your seat to a white woman if you don't have to, and especially if she didn't ask you to. Them black folks on the bus let him know real quick. It was only when he decided to visit Mobile County, Alabama, that he got a chance to actually converse with white men while he was hitchhiking. As a black man, can you guess what the white men wanted to talk to him about? Take a guess. I'll grab another drink. hitchhike in the States. White men wanted to know how he did it. Did what? Oh, sex? What? You don't know how? Well, it didn't go like that. But the conversation basically alluded to the idea that black folk are sexually immoral. And it reinforced the white man's idea that black folk were just like animals, animals like animals. There isn't any solidarity being built here. Why are you asking a stranger about his sex life? Excuse me, don't tell me how all the white men in the region craved colored girls. And don't tell me how they have to sleep with you if they want the job. Anyway, he notices a striking difference in the behavior of black folk in Alabama. I'll give you one clue. Selma. Overall, this book made me uneasy and edgy while I read it. Griffin's heart may have been in the right place, but why in the world would you disguise yourself in blackface? Not my face, his face. In any case, it leads back to race. It says it... Oh, I done lost my place. So as I was saying, blackface. My skin color is not a costume. We aren't fictitious characters. We are human beings. Disguising yourself in blackface makes a mockery of black people. Here's a pretty dope campaign that I came across a few years ago that captures my plea pretty nicely. I'll leave you all with some bad news and good news. I want to end on a positive note. The bad news, as many of you know already, is about the Tulsa shooting. Officer Betty Shelby shot and killed an unarmed black man. Reports say that she felt threatened for her life. Threatened by the fact that he was unarmed, or threatened by the fact that he was black? Anyway, protests spread throughout Tulsa, and she's been charged with manslaughter. How far have we really come? Some people think I'm talking about black people when I mention we. I'm talking about Americans when I mention we. Police brutality isn't a black issue. It's an American issue. Because it's the American people that need to work together to end this injustice. We can't lose hope though. The good news is that a new and wonderful museum has opened up. It is the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. I'll just read this little description about it. There are 4 pillars upon which the National Museum of African American History and Culture stands. Number 1, it provides an opportunity for those who are interested in African American culture to explore and revel in this history through interactive exhibitions. Number 2, it helps all Americans see how their stories, their histories, and their cultures are shaped and informed by global influences. Number 3, it explores what it means to be an American and share how American values like resiliency, optimism, and spirituality are reflected in African American history and culture. Number 4, it serves as a place of collaboration that reaches beyond Washington to engage new audiences to collaborate with the myriad of museums and educational institutions that have explored and preserved this important history well before this museum was created. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the Black curriculum is about. This has been the Black curriculum. Something new, something true.